What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH. I was totally on Ned's side today when he kicked Brook Lynn out of the house. Here's my thing, though. I was totally on his side, but y'all gonna stop disrespecting my boo Monica like this. Like, y'all just not gonna do it. First of all, I get where he coming from, and I do agree with him. But y'all need to remember, this is Monica's house. I am so sick and tired of people moving people in her house, kicking people out of her house without her input. It's her house. Even though I agree with the decision. I really do. Because Brook Lynn was just acting like a total child as usual. Well, you didn't want to help me, so I turned to Valentin for help. First of all, you are grown. You are an adult. You got yourself in that situation with Link. Your father didn't get you into that. You got yourself into it. So as an adult, you should have found a better way to get yourself out of it instead of selling out the family for your own agenda. Like, that was a fool's game that you played. And in the long run, I highly doubt you're going to win this game. Like, that was just some fool-ass stuff to do. I was like, why did she do that? Why? That was just some fool stuff. Like, I was so disappointed in Brook Lynn. I really was. I was disappointed. Like, she needs to grow up. Like, be an adult. Selling your shares in the company. Like, how stupid was that? So I don't blame Ned for being angry and kicking her out. Because not only did Valentin scoop up a 50% stake in the company, he's also not going to help the hospital. Thanks to Lucy, of course. Because when Lucy wanted to talk to Valentin alone, Valentin was like, nah, we don't need to talk alone. You need to vote in my favor. Valentin wanted no private conversations with Lucy. Vote. Because she know what side of the bread her bread is buttered. She know what side is buttered on. So that's why she threw her support behind Valentin, which I said yesterday, I'm not surprised. I knew she would, because he's a backer in Deception Cosmetics. He's her major investor. Hell, he's her only investor. So, of course, you're going to, back the money, basically. Because she already know if she went against him, he would have pulled all that money up out of that company. And she would have been, the company would have been dead before it even relaunched. So, of course, she had to do the smart business move. Even though ethically it was messed up, but business-wise, she had to do what she had to do for her company. Even though she knew deep down it wasn't a position that she wanted to be in, nor was it a decision she wanted to make. Because we all know Lucy loves the hospital just like anybody else, but she chose business over morals and ethics. That's just what she chose to do. She felt backed into a corner. And not only did Ned lose the vote, Michael and Ned are no longer CEO and acting CEO respectively. They're both out. Valentin is the new king of ELQ, the new CEO. Thanks to Lucy and Brook Lynn and the rest of the sellouts, Maya, Sky, Sam. Bunch of sellouts. Sold out the family company for your own agenda. I could imagine why Sky would sell her shares. God knows she probably need the money again, because we all know every time Sky gets some money, she blows it. So, of course, she probably was in some financial problems, whatever. So, of course, when the opportunity, arose, she was like, okay, let me make some cool money real quick and sell my shares, sell my daughter's shares like a fool. I mean, look what she did with Lorenzo's money. Lorenzo left a lot of money, and she blew through that money. And that was really for their daughter. And she blew through that cash quick. I feel bad for them. Like, Michael and Ned need to do something. They need to do something quick to get this company back. And like I said before, once they do eventually get it back, don't redistribute those shares. I understand that's what Edward wanted in his will, but if Edward was here today, I'm pretty sure he would have held on tight to those shares. Lord knows I would have. So anyway, moving on from that. Jason finally woke up from his little nap. He doesn't remember the accident, though. Jason doesn't remember the accident, so Sam basically had to tell him. and he was wondering why Sam was at his bedside. So she basically told him about the new parole officer and the fact that she had to get Valentin's help and, you know, give the kids proxies to him at ELQ. Jason was, of course, pissed. He was pissed about it because even though Jason doesn't give a crap about ELQ, he does care about the Quartermains, and he already knew the Quartermains would be pissed about Valentin being a part of the company. Like, he already knew that. But, of course, Sam felt like she had to do what she had to do. I just can't wait for Jason. I had high hopes when Jason woke up from that coma. Like, I was really hoping he would have became a Quartermain Morgan again. Like, kind of mixed the two. I do agree, because somebody in my comments said the same thing. They was like, he should just kind of, you know, integrate the two personalities, the Jason Quartermain personality and the Jason Morgan. I do agree. I do agree, because it's so funny, because every time Jason gets into some type of some type of accident where it messes with his brain, the topic always comes up every time he wakes up. Is he going to be Jason Morgan? Is he going to be Jason Quartermain? But every damn time he wakes up Jason Morgan. I was hoping they would have did something different this time. I was hoping they would have. But yet again, I was disappointed. I was, because that's what I was hoping for. Like, not Jason Quartermain, but I was hoping that he would have woke up as both, like with both memories. That's what I was hoping for. It's like, damn, that Jason Quartermain memory just keeps on suppressing itself. Like, why don't you want to rise to the surface, Jason Quartermain? Why not? Just come back. For the love of God, just come back. Damn, that identity just refuses to rear its head. Like, it just refuses to come back. Like, I don't think we're ever going to see the Jason Quartermain character ever again. I really don't think so. For whatever reason. It refuses to come. It refuses. Every time they get an opportunity to do it, they don't take it. They don't take that opportunity. I'm starting to get frustrated now. So anyway, moving on from that. So Nina and Jax are together. They're talking about her, you know, she's doubting herself about what she did at the custody hearing, her testifying against Nell. In my opinion, I agree with Jax. I feel like Nina has nothing to doubt herself for. She has nothing to apologize for. She sat on that witness stand and she told the truth. Nell is manipulative. Nell is a witch. Nell is a liar, compulsive liar. And she doesn't have a maternal instinct in her bone. Now, I'm not going to say Nell doesn't care about her son, because I'm pretty sure she does. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like she doesn't use that boy as a meal ticket, because she does. And that's exactly what that child is to her. A meal ticket just to get money and piss off Carly and Michael. That's all that kid is to her. I ain't going to say that's all, but that's a big part of why she wanted that kid in the first place. That's her leverage. That's always going to be her leverage against Carly and Michael. Wiley. AKA Jonah. I like that name better. Why didn't they go with the name Jonah? Because I really like that name much better. Jonah Corinthos Quartermain. I like that name way better. I swear I just want to start calling him Jonah. Like, I don't like the name Wiley. Wiley for a Corinthos Quartermain? I don't like that. No. Jonah's a much more cooler name. Like, I just like it. It just screams money. It screams that you come from wealth. It screams that, Wiley just sound like you're a hippie or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you're some barefoot hippie that smoke pot all day. That's just what it is. Like, I don't like that name. So for future reference, I'm going to start calling that child Jonah. And whoever don't like it, too bad. But his name to me is Jonah. I know people going to be like, why are you calling that boy Jonah? Because that's his name. In my eyes, that's what his name is, Jonah. So anyway, why couldn't his middle name at least be Jonah? Why not? So anyway, yeah, Nina's sitting there blaming herself and looking at that necklace or whatever. Jax keeps trying to tell her she should keep looking for her daughter. God forbid Nell is actually her daughter. That would just be a disaster. I mean, it opens up good storylines, like future storylines. It definitely does. But, you gave birth to that? I guess. So, of course, Jax was offering to help her, talk to his jeweler or whatever, see if his jeweler could tell him who made her necklace or whatever, and that way it'd be easier for them to track down her kid or whatnot. Jax, you know, I like that Jax is trying to get into this romance and stuff head first, but he gotta be careful too, because you're dealing with a woman who's still clearly not over her ex, like Carly was. Because we all know Nina still got a torch for Valentin. And of course, Lucy and Valentin bumped into Jax and Nina, and Valentin, little smug ass, could not wait to tell Nina that he was the new King Dingaling of ELQ. That he was King Jaffe Joffa of ELQ Enterprises. He couldn't wait to tell her. And of course Jax was suspicious about that, because he was like, what the hell does Valentin have on Lucy to make her vote with him? Well, he's not blackmailing her per se, but his money is tied into her company, so she know that she needs his financial support, and he could pull out that financial support anytime he damn well pleases, and she needs the money, so she had to go where her bread was buttered, which was Valentin. From a business standpoint, I can't say I blame her. From a personal standpoint, she a sellout. She's a sellout, but you know, business is business, I guess. I suppose. So anyway, moving on from that. So Mike is alert. Mike is talking. Sonny went to go visit him, and Mike basically told Sonny that he was ready to go home, and Felix thought that he was talking about going back to Turning Woods or whatever. So Felix said that he'll make the arrangements. I have a problem with this. Now, it was good to see Mike alert and talking and stuff, but I have an issue with this, because just a few days ago, for several days, Mike was incoherent. Like, he wasn't talking, he wasn't alert, he wasn't eating, he had to eat with a feeding tube. Now, all of a sudden, you know, he wasn't eating. He stopped eating for several days. They wanted to put him on a feeding tube, and now all of a sudden he's alert, he's talking, he's active a little. Like, I'm just saying, like, the writers have been doing a bang up job with the Alzheimer's story, but y'all are going left with this story now, because if you want to be realistic, this ain't the way to go. I'm just saying, because I dealt with a relative who went through Alzheimer's, so I know that that part ain't realistic. Get it together. Get it together, come on now, because they've been, when I seen that scene, I was like, y'all really making me want to punch y'all in the throat, because this ain't at all realistic. But, you know, I gotta remind myself when you're watching daytime TV that you have to, you know, just throw the realism out the door on certain things. Like, you just have to remember that, you know, they're not totally realistic. So that's what I had to think about. So anyway, at the courthouse, it's time for the judge's decision, and of course Nell petitioned the court to have a closed hearing, so that way Carly couldn't be a part of the hearing, because you already know Nell has to be petty. So, you know, Carly kicked up a funk about it. She was mad or whatever, but of course she had to leave. And Willow offered to sit with Carly, and Carly was like, no, as Michael's wife, you need to get your ass in that courtroom, because I need you in there. Like, why would Carly have to tell you to be in the courtroom? You're Michael's wife now. You should be in that courtroom. But Willow was nervous the entire time, like, because she kept thinking that they weren't going to win. So the judge, of course, came back with his decision, and of course, Michael gets full custody of Wiley, Jonah. He gets full custody of Jonah. And Nell loses, not only does Nell not get custody, she loses all of her visitation. Her visitation is completely terminated. Nell was pissed. So Nell tried to get the judge back on her side, but the judge was like, he wasn't hearing it. The judge was like, no, I made my decision. It's the right decision. You're done. You get no visitation, nor do you get to see your child. And of course, Nell was pissed, as usual, which we already knew she would be. Because you know how Nell is. Confronting Michael, talking about, oh, I'm always going to be Jonah's mom. She said Wiley, but of course I'm calling him Jonah. Said she's always going to be Jonah's mom or whatever. And Carly basically broke it down to her. She was like, this is all on you. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, the Corinthos win again. But I feel like, why would anybody want Nell to have full custody of this child? Why would you want her to even have joint custody? I mean, just so that she could stick it to the Corinthoses? I mean, that's a good thing, but we're talking about a child here, and a child needs to be in a good home. I'm not saying, you know, Michael's perfect or anything, but Michael is a good person, despite who his parents are. He is a decent guy. And when the moment, you know, he's always been good to Wiley, Jonah, even before he knew that that was his actual child. So I think Jonah is in the best care with Michael, as opposed to Nell. Nell is always scheming. She's always manipulating. She's always lying. She's, you know, she's always doing something. So why would anybody want that child to go to her? Like, for what? I don't feel bad for her because she has put this off on herself. You know what I'm saying? Do I like the fact that Carly and them win again? No. But this isn't the end, because as we know, Nell has a tracker on that stuffed, you know, on that stuffed animal. So she know where Wiley is, Jonah. And she plans on kidnapping Jonah. That was her plan B if she lost the custody case, which she has lost. So she's about to put plan B in full effect. So Michael better get some guards or something on that kid, because I got a feeling she might succeed. I definitely have a feeling she might, you know, succeed with grabbing that kid, though. She might. But anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about today's episode. I will see y'all all later. Have a good night. Peace.